New post. Amusing stories of a resident doctor getting beeped at 3 a.m. As a resident doctor on call, I had to carry a beeper around the hospital. A beeper, also known as a pager, is a wireless telecommunications device. It is archaic nowadays. Everybody has a cell phone. But as a resident, I had a beeper. It received and displayed alphanumeric messages. It was a mode of communication for nurses and other staff to get hold of on-call resident while he or she is rounding, admitting, or taking a nap in the call room. We used to get a lot of pages while on call. And when you're on call, you have to respond when the nurses page you about something. Thus, this piece of equipment glued to my scrubs was the most unloved entity that I carried around with me. Most of the times, the beep was about some important patient-related matter, like a patient fell, has fever, needs a diet order, and so forth. Sometimes it was just to make an MD aware for liability purposes. On more than a few occasions, we would get paged about the dumbest stuff. Let me share with you my real-life examples of some of the oddest beeps. Example number 1. At 12 a.m., I get beep number 1. Miss KQ is refusing the flu shot. Please advise. Excuse me? What do you want me to advise? Chain her and jab her? Okay, fine. I could advise a few other things also. But please enlighten me first. Why at midnight? Number 2. Once I got paged at 2:30 a.m. That's correct, at 2:30 a.m. that Mr. AB has been constipated for 2 days. Please advise. Really? I was curious to know that at 2:30 a.m. was Mr. AB dreaming about having a shit? He suddenly realized that a trip to Privy was a much better relaxation technique to ease up than a warm bed? Or did the nurse wake him up to discuss his pooping schedule? Doc's order, please do tap water enemas until results are satisfactory for both the patient and you. Number 3. This one is just unbelievable. I was on call at an inner city hospital in downtown Hartford. It was a usual busy night for our team, the intern and I. We had admitted 10 patients to medical wards that night, had done 15 evaluations in the emergency room, and rounded on some of our sickest patients. At around 2:30 a.m., we had just finished most of the work. The beeper had been unusually silent for the last 20 minutes. I headed to the call room. The call room, with a bed draped in white linen, looked like the best relaxing retreat I could wish for. I put the abhorred beeper on the nightstand, turned off the light bulb, and relaxed on my bed. Unfortunately, the tranquility was very ephemeral, gone within seconds. The loathed beeper woke me up with its cacophony. I called the number listed. This is how the conversation went. Me. Hi, this is medicine resident on call answering the page, in an irritated and feeble voice. Nurse. Hello doctor, I'm a nurse at 8 West, taking care of Mr. X, who is an HIV patient, in an enthusiastic and crisp voice. He has been in the hospital for 3 weeks. Me. Okay, so what happened? Nurse. Nothing happened, but he's just depressed and worried. Me. About what? Did he try to hurt himself? At 3 a.m., if a nurse is calling about a depressed patient, I thought it was genius of me to think about suicidal ideation. Nurse. No, he didn't do any such acts. He was just crying. Me. About what? Now a bit irritated. Nurse. I was wondering if I could get an order for his haircut in the morning. Me, what? I'm sorry, what is it about? In a stunned, hesitation voice. Nurse, Doc, the patient is worried about his haircut since he has been hospitalized for 3 weeks, and I wanted to get an order for that. I couldn't believe it. Is it a dream? Or a real nurse? Or a barber talking to me? How is a doctor's order for haircut after 3 weeks a life-saving 3 a.m. call? I was overwhelmed with insecurity and self-doubt. Although I could have missed some important lectures in medical school, was this one of them? She absolutely couldn't wait until the morning to tell me this? And why didn't she page me about this at 8 p.m.? Yes, I learned a new definition of self-control in residency. The fortitude to get messages like these and not lose your shit. Have you ever had any funny stories during your training years to share with? I would love to hear your stories. Thank you very much for listening. Keep smiling.